The dark story of the Look at Me cover art. It's your boy BDJ. You know I don't like to say too much before my videos. Let's get right into it.
Disclaimer to YouTube, who took this video down at 200,000 views and getting over 20,000 an hour, which is huge for a small channel like mine. This documentary and its thumbnail have been updated to be fully compliant with YouTube's child safety policies and does not show any minor participating in a dangerous act. Some parts of this video will be censored, but it's still a great video, so good YouTube had to take it down. Enjoy the video. Hey everyone, welcome back. So, looking back at Xxxtentacion's career.
Bro, I miss this nigga X, bro. Top tier artist, bro. Top tier. I don't give a fuck what nobody says about him being a motherfucking domestic violence or whatever. I don't care. This nigga's top tier artist, bro.
There were a lot of key moments that really showed where he was at in his life, in his career, and just what kind of person he was.
Fuck
you
with
could
this
say
nigga so
maybe
tough,
with
bro.
Sad or Question Mark album, he changed and matured a little bit more from maybe the 2016 era of Xxxtentacion. But looking back at 2016 and actually 2015, because it's now been...
Hey, not gonna lie, 2016 was probably like one of the best years ever, bro. Like, real talk. Think about it. Nigga, Lil Uzi Vert, Kodak, X. Come on now, bro.
Over 5 years since Look at Me originally released. And that's just crazy to think about. It really shows how fast these people's lives went by, how fast their lives changed.
It has been 5 years.
You don't think
bro.
of it being 5 years ago that X originally
Nigga,
dropped
I'm
Look
old
at
as
Me,
6,
which would be
right? That shit,
the
bro.
track that really changed his life and would blow up in 2016 and early 2017.
I'm damn near 37.
When you think
God damn.
of Look at Me, what do you think of? Was it the extremely high energy instrumental and vocals? For me, it was always really just the album cover that he originally used. It was just that kid with a in his nose sitting in a dark room. I never really knew what it was. It was kind of strange to me because I thought, is this a Photoshop? At some points I thought it was actually a girl because I thought, there's no way that would just be a little kid's blood out of his nose. But it turns out that's really what it was. And there's an insane and honestly extremely dark story to that photo and that kid. That kid's name is... but he also goes by the name Kid Pronto. And in this video, I wanted to take you on a tour
Why are you
of
censoring
his
his name? What the
extremely
fuck?
dark and disturbing life up to this point. He recently did an interview with Complex talking about some of his crimes and his relationship with X. But what he didn't tell Complex is the most dark and twisted stuff. So make sure you stick around for that because that's where things really get juicy. So how did this kid, who I'm going to refer to as Kid Pronto, meet X? Because X was really in the streets doing some crazy stuff.
Yeah,
Not
that
someone
nigga
who
X
you
was a
think
demon.
would be
I'm not gonna
friend
cap.
12-year-old,
That nigga
but
was a
it
demon.
happened. Kid Pronto explained to Complex saying, "We're all from the same city, so we had a lot of mutual friends, and he just messed with me." He said they met in person for the first time when he was invited to X's first ever concert in Florida. He said, "X pulled up on me with like 50 people on my street. Ski Mask the Slump God, and all of them were there. We went to the show together and stayed in touch after that. After the show, Kid Pronto, X, and Ski all joined the same group chat on Twitter. He said, I was smoking, I just put the in my nose, took a picture, and sent it to the group chat as a joke. We were just playing, and X was like, I'm going to use this as my next song cover. He wasn't big or anything back then, so I didn't really think nothing of it. Little did he know, that picture that he took at just 12 years old would become a piece of history and arguably would go on to change his life forever. And as we all know, around this time is when X started having more troubles with law enforcement. Kid Pronto says, when he was getting in trouble, I was getting in trouble too. Now, Kid Pronto didn't want to go into detail about what his troubles were, but from publicly available court documents, Complex found out that Kid Pronto had a record of charges from 2017 that include robbery, battery, vehicle theft,
Niggas
and
is some
resisting
demon,
arrest.
boy. Them
And boy,
Florida
oh
niggas
boy,
are
in
some
the future,
goddamn
do
demons.
his troubles with law enforcement get much worse than this. By that year in spring, X had returned home from jail. And Kid Pronto said he was basically on the run from the law at that time, so he reconnected with X in search of help. He said, when X got out of jail, I had a warrant for my arrest, so I pulled up to his show, and he already knew the situation with me. Kid Pronto remembers X saying to him, all right, I'm going to make sure you're good. I'm going to let you stay in my crib for a minute. Going off script, this story is already crazy to me. This kid, and he really is a kid at this point, was on the run from the police after certain crimes, and now he's staying with, at this point, almost a celebrity rapper just to hang out with him out of the kindness of his heart. This rapper, X, let this child criminal stay at his house to hide from the law enforcement. It's just a crazy story.
Bro, I heard this nigga X broke into somebody's house, bro, and made a sandwich, bro, in their crib. Imagine somebody breaking into your house and making a sandwich, bro. That's next level savagery right there, my nigga.
But it really gets much crazier than this. For 2 months, Kid Pronto lived at X's home. The teenager has fond memories of this time, describing the rapper as a very genuine and generous person. But it came to an abrupt end when the police showed up at their door one day. After initially telling police officers he didn't know who or where Kid Pronto was, X leveled with his young friend and convinced him to turn himself in to the authorities. During the time that Kid Pronto was in jail for his crimes,
and he ain't snitched, boy.
He heard the news of X's death. Complex says by the time he returned home, he had settled on a new goal: pursue a music career of his own, in part because of the encouragement he'd received from X. Kid Pronto said, "When I was around him, he used to tell me to make music because I used to be freestyling. He was like, 'Bro, you snapping. You've got to make some music.' And I was like, 'Nah, I'm not going to do that. I'm not a rapper.' But I had music all around me, and all my friends were making music. So eventually, I was like, all right, let me see what this is all about." Fast forward to early 2019, just before the darkest part of Kid Pronto's story. Kid Pronto recorded a few songs on SoundCloud, including My Click, Fast Lane, and Stand Tall. He gained a small fan base, and right now has a few tracks that are close to reaching 100,000 plays. Kid Pronto said, "I made some songs, and they got some positive feedback, but my mind wasn't right, so I wasn't really too focused on music. But just a few months after he found some success on SoundCloud, his life took a very dark turn."
Local 10 News is speaking with the father of a stabbing victim who was nearly killed in a fight with a teenage boy in Pompano Beach.
See, I'm trying to edit a vertical piece of content, so I've created a workspace that goes very...
A teenager is now facing an attempted murder charge, and we are learning he has a history of violent incidents like this one. Local 10 Sarah Anwar is live down with our one and only exclusive tonight. Sarah.
Well, if I were on this bitch fucking chin, boy, she got a strong ass jawline.
That stabbing victim's recovery, and a warning, some of it is pretty tough to look at.
This
His
a nigga.
accused stabber is 16 years old. Bud is being tried as an adult. Today, a Broward County judge set his bond at $250,000.
God damn.
I'm quite frankly very displeased and annoyed that he was given such a low bond.
Local 10 spoke exclusively with Michael Tatton. He tells us any bond is too low for the teen accused of leaving, who is Michael's son, clinging to life.
And I feel he's a danger to the public.
The attack happened April 27th outside this Pompano Beach home. Broward Sheriff's deputies say stabbed in the chest and in a major artery in his groin.
Why the fuck this shit so
they say
blurred,
was
bro?
defending a passenger in a car who was arguing with when began stabbing.
In the next few minutes, you're going to see a name blurred out with a red bar. That's Kid Pronto. I had to blur out his real name so YouTube doesn't take down my video at 200K again. So here you go. According to the Sun Sentinel, on April 27th, 2019, Kid Pronto stabbed a boy in his chest and his femoral artery was severed. He required 55 pints of blood and his heart stopped at least 4 times. The perspective that came from the victim and some of the witnesses seems to be that this happened on April 27th when who is Kid Pronto, was among 4 teens who were hanging out at a Pompano Beach home. The group decided to go out to eat and piled into a Jeep and told he wasn't invited. Yelled and cursed at a girl sitting in the front passenger seat, grabbed her arms, and tried to pull her out of the truck, according to an arrest report. The Jeep's driver got out, and Kid Pronto stabbed him, Linder said. From a quote from Sun Sentinel, Mr. tells police that he was being choked by this individual and responded, said Ashley K., lawyer, without making any admissions on behalf of Mr. of any kind, and just going through the probable cause report as it stands for the purpose only of this bond hearing, it looks like there are 2 different versions of events by 2 different individuals. Linder disputed Kid Pronto's description of what happened. Mr. claims that after stabbing the victim in the chest in self-defense, he then mounted the victim. He claims at this point that the victim began choking him, and that's when he stabbed him in his groin, severing his femoral artery. Linder said that it was not logical that the teen who was stabbed and bleeding would have had the strength to choke his assailant.
Facts.
The prosecutor also referred to witness statements that before Kid Pronto fled, he taunted the wounded teen on the ground. Kid Pronto told Complex he still can't talk about the situation. He said this about his time behind bars. "It helped me know what I want to do, and it helped me realize that it's not the life I want. It just helped me get my mind right." Right now, Kid Pronto is 17 years old, and he's recently been released on house arrest. According to Complex, he says he's intent on throwing himself back in the music scene and recording new songs, a pursuit that can be tied back to the photo he took 5 years ago. He downplays any kind of celebrity that has resulted from his internet notoriety, repeatedly saying things like, "I don't really be caring about clout in conversation," but he does admit that the "Look at Me" photo affected his life. "I never would have made no music before that," he says. "It definitely did change things." And to close everything off, in reference to the "Look at Me" cover art, he says, "X didn't just randomly take that picture off the internet, that's for sure." And I just have to say, I in no way promote any of this violence. I'm not trying to say that what Kid Pronto did was cool or a good thing. Obviously, it's extremely traumatic, and that kid that he attacked, or teenager that he attacked, I'm sure his life has been affected by this and will continue to be affected for the rest of his life, maybe through PTSD or whatever other health complications may come from this. So I'm in no way glorifying this. And it does seem that Kid Pronto has seen the error in his ways. He recently posted a picture on Instagram of himself posing with money, so it seems that
My
he's
nigga
still
Flex
kind of
style, you
about
feel
that
me?
rapper flex kind of life. It says that he wants to get back into music. So we're gonna have to see what happens with Kid Pronto. It's insane to me that all of this happened before he's even an adult. And I know a lot of rappers like to glorify this lifestyle, but no kid should have to grow up in an environment where they grow to be a person like this. And I think we as a society, well, we already are, but should strive to make sure that Kid Pronto...
Okay, yeah, that's the end of the video, boy. All we really learned is that, as we all knew, X is a real ass nigga. And that with that being said, it's your boy BJ. We out. Y'all like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell notification, join the BBC season. Yeah, we're out this motherfucker.